Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown. This is a show that is everything Broncos and sports topics related. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys. I have to begin, unfortunately, with the Broncos at Tennessee last Sunday. And the reason why I say kind of shake my head as to even getting into this game is because of how the season has gone, how this game went. This game was an absolute flip side of the game in London against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what I mean by that is this. In London, Denver was pathetic in the first half. Pathetic. And then the second half, they turned it on. Well, in this game, it was the first half where they turned it on. And then second half, flatline, as in dead. Nothing. Couldn't do a doggone thing. Nothing. Is it the defense's fault? Absolutely not. Well, I'll get into that a little bit in this game. But the defense hasn't been the main problem. The main problem is the ineptness of the offense. And where does that lie? That lies with Nathaniel Hackett and Alton as the offensive coordinator. That is, even if he's calling plays, probably not. And unfortunately, with Clint Kubiak, because Clint Kubiak is a quarterback coach. But if Wilson isn't getting the time to throw the ball, and I mean, I understand we have a very, very depleted offense, absolutely depleted offense. Glasgow went down in I believe it was the early third quarter against Tennessee. And that's when things change. Now, remember in London, when Glasgow came in, things changed as well, but they changed for the better. When Glasgow got hurt and he was holding his arm like this, like it was, and I thought it was his arm, they said it was his shoulder. That's not good at all. Not at all. So with Glasgow out, we have a rookie in there at center. And it was obvious. He got manhandled. He got mauled. He got pushed back. Wilson couldn't do anything but try and run for his life. Wilson got hit 20 times. He got sacked several times, multiple times. This offensive line is absolutely a cheesecloth. It lets everything in. What else can you say? Nothing more can be said except the Broncos don't have as deep a depth as they definitely would like to have. And then Jerry Jeudy went out on the very first play. He makes a cut to his left, and his ankle looked like he rolled up on his ankle. No one touched him. He didn't roll up on a foot or anything. It's just these freaky accidents, these freaky injuries that are happening every single game. Every game. And it doesn't matter if you're on turf or if you're on grass. Doesn't matter. It's still happening. In fact, it's even happening in practice, which is crazy. All right, let me get into the Denver, Tennessee recap. Coming off a bye week and having 2 weeks to study the Titans, Denver jumped out to a 10-0 lead. The defense was shutting down Derrick Henry as they needed to do so. Absolutely. I said last Friday in my show on the MHRT network that the Broncos have a great chance to win this game if they keep Derrick Henry under 100 yards. Well, they did. I think he only got 60-something. But that's where it ended because the defense did break down a couple times. And again, to me, it's not the defensive scheme. In other words, it's not the defensive players. It's the play calling by the defensive coordinator, Evero, in my opinion, that lost this game. And I'll get into that. Let's see. What they didn't do was cover wide open receivers. Here it comes. Right before the half, Denver went into a... Don't tell me. Don't even tell me. Well, I have to, because that's what they did. Denver went into a prevent defense and allowed the Titans to go right down the field and score a touchdown. 10-7. Exactly what I said could not happen. I said that on the live show on the neighborhood on Sunday with Madungus Creevy and myself. I said you cannot allow the Titans to go down the field. Why, oh, why, oh, why are the Broncos defense going into prevent when they did not allow a single point with the defense that they were running for almost the entire first half? Why would they do something else, change something else, go into prevent? Why? Why? Well, because that's what teams do. You want to keep the play in front of you. No, you don't. You want to get a 3 and out. You want to force them into long second and third downs. And you do that by bringing pressure and by doing what the Broncos had done the entire first quarter and 14 minutes or 13 minutes of the second quarter. No, let's go to prevent. We'll just prevent ourselves from winning. You think? All right, I continue. Then in the third quarter, like I mentioned, Glasgow got injured, so things changed. So in the third quarter, Tennessee did a flea flicker to a wide open receiver and scored a touchdown untouched. 14-10 Tennessee. Why would corners come up and expect to run when a corner would have to run, 15, 20 yards just to get to the running back if it was a handoff? You got 11 guys on 11 guys, okay? You got 4 people rushing. You got 5 linemen blocking. That leaves a free guy. That free guy should be spotting the running back or the quarterback. I don't understand why there are wide open receivers when you have a corner that is assigned to a position, to a place, to an area. Why are you coming up and allowing the receiver to run by you? Doesn't matter if you thought it was going to be a legit handoff. What are you doing running up to the line? That's not your area. It's not. If you are on the left side as a corner, you don't come up and run up on a running play. That's for the linebackers. That's for the linemen. Because things like this happen. And when you do a flea flicker, because obviously Tennessee saw something in game film that said, hey, if we do a handoff, this corner is going to crash in. So why don't we do a flea flicker? Because we got it wide open. Bingo. That's exactly what happened. Wide open. And then he runs to the end zone untouched. Sure, he had to make a couple of moves to the left and then back to the center and whatnot, but still, nobody touched him. Why? Because the corner crashed to the middle thinking it was a run. Stupid. Whose fault is that? That's Evero's fault for not teaching these guys to stay in their lanes. Stay where you are. You don't go up and help until the guy maybe is wide open and running. Well, yeah, now you know it's not a pass play. So if he gets past the line of scrimmage, then yes, move up and then approach the runner. Not when he's in the backfield. That was absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. And that's why this team is 3-6. Because it has no discipline. It has no leadership. It has no teaching abilities by any of these coaches. None whatsoever. Hackett has no idea what he's doing. None. He doesn't know how to delegate. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He keeps saying, we're not changing anything, keeping everything status quo. Well, there's your result from being status quo. Because status quo means you're not changing anything. And the Broncos aren't changing anything. They still continue to lose. And do you realize at this point in time in the season, 9 games in, the Denver Broncos have the worst scoring offense in the entire NFL at 14.5 points a game average. 14.5 points a game average. This team has. That is absolutely unacceptable. And I thought Fangio was bad, or Joseph was bad, or for that matter, Drew Lock was bad. Go ahead, guys, comment. Say what you want. Tell me I'm wrong. But numbers don't lie. And the Broncos were never rock bottom in scoring offense until this season. Can they get out of it? Possibly. I doubt it. I doubt it seriously. Because Hackett says he's not going to change. He's going to keep everything status quo. We got it all figured out. It's okay. We just need to do better. We need to be better in the red zone. No, Hackett, you need to be better or get out of town. Period. Period. I'm sick and tired of these losses. Sick and tired of the ineptness. We have a Russell Wilson. We paid $249 million over the next 7 years. It's not a Wilson problem. It's a Hackett problem that does not want to bend. He's got an ego that's way up here and should be chopped down at the knees. Absolutely. And I thought things would be better than previous last years. They're not better, but they're definitely changed for the worse. And I'm sick and tired as being a dedicated Broncos fan. I'm sick and tired of seeing this. Sick and tired of seeing it. And I would not mind one bit if Nathaniel Hackett was fired before next week. Won't happen. I think George Payton's going to stick with him for the year. Might even stick with him for another year, which in my opinion would be absolutely stupid because he's not going to change. That's obvious. All right, I move on. All right, Broncos have possible uniform changes. Now, when they played in London, the Broncos had their white jerseys and their blue pants, and they won that game against Jacksonville. So the team said, hey, we won that game. Let's stick with what worked. Well, then they wore the white uniforms and the black and the blue pants in Tennessee. It didn't work. Yes, I know. Madungus always says the same thing, that it's not the uniform, it's the reason why we win. Blah. I understand that. I get that. I know that. Sometimes, though, you need a momentum change. You need a good feeling about something. Maybe it's a play. Maybe it's a stadium that you play really well in. Maybe it's a uniform color. I don't know. But whatever works, keep it working. But it's more than just the game in London and the game last Sunday in Tennessee. Here it is. The Denver Broncos have begun to explore the possible uniform change and want season ticket members to submit feedback. Okay, I'll give you feedback right now. I want the all blue uniforms as a home uniform. I know it'll never happen, but the dark blue jersey and the dark blue pants, they just make the orange pop. It looks classic. It looks original. It looks menacing. It looks good. Plain and simple, it looks good to me. Not everybody's going to agree, and that's fine. I don't care. But I'm giving you my opinion, and that's what I like. If they don't go to the all blues, which they probably won't, I'll settle for the blue jersey and the white pants. I'll settle for that. But I'd rather have the all blues. Anyways, I continue. In 2012, Denver switched to the home jersey, which was orange, from the blue. That was the first change since they underwent a full rebrand from the D logo to the more modern horse logo. So that was back in what did I say? 2012. So yeah, they switched to the orange in 2012. I don't like that. The blue doesn't pop. It doesn't pop. I don't know. It's just it's too orangey. I mean, the Bears wear an orange jersey. Sometimes the Dolphins wear their orange jersey. The Bengals wear an orange jersey. The Browns sometimes wear an orange jersey. Why do we have to wear orange? Those other teams, come on, let them have it. We want the dark blue. At least this guy wants the dark blue because the orange pops. Looks much better than the orange. It just does. The orange kind of looks like, hey, we're going to the picnic. We're going to go to the beach and have a nice little bonfire. It's kind of like easy going. No, I don't want easy going in football. I want a menacing look. I want a look that says we are here to take you down. That happens with darker colors. It does. Absolutely it does. Look at the Raiders. They wear black. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. They wear the dark purple. Same with the Vikings. You look more menacing in darker colors. Not in the bright orange or the green or the powder blue of the freaking Chargers. No, you don't. You don't look menacing and that look that you want to have to impose your ability to win the game. I understand, again, it's not the uniform, but it can pose a look. It can give the other opponent a look that they may not like. That's all I'm saying, right? Let's move on. Oh, boy. Speaking of the Chargers, who I can't stand, here it is. Denver Broncos. Well, let me get back to the beginning of it. The NFL and the Chargers are being sued. Okay, well, I like to always see the Chargers being sued because, like I said, I can't stand it. Denver Broncos special teams player Aaron Patrick is suing the NFL and the Chargers, claiming mats placed on the sidelines at SoFi Stadium caused him to suffer a torn ACL. Now, if you guys didn't see that play, that was in overtime in the Broncos Charger game at SoFi Stadium. Monday night, I think it was, several weeks ago, about 4 weeks ago. Anyways, he's on special teams. He's coming down the left side as the teams move from left to right. He's going down the sideline or down the left side, and he gets close to the punt return, and he pushes the punt returner out of bounds, and he loses his balance. And in trying to avoid an NFL official on the sideline that was there for replay analysis, he tries to avoid him. He steps on this mat, and he catches his foot on the mat and the cables underneath the mat. And I'll get into that in a minute as to why they're there. So he catches his foot on there. His leg and knee take a weird twist. He goes down, and after an MRI, he's diagnosed with a torn ACL and done for the season. So I continue. Patrick claims momentum carried him into the sideline area where an NFL official, who I mentioned, NFL official who monitors TV timeouts, was standing. In an attempt to avoid the man, he had to step on the mat that the stadium workers had put down to cover up the NFL instant replay sideline monitor cords and cables. Now, I'm going to get into a little bit more in this article. But here's the main problem. Okay? You've got these big cables. They're probably about this big around, I would say. You know, they carry a whole lot of wires to different areas and what they're plugging in. You would think that in a stadium that was built for $5 billion, with a B, $5 billion, would have some type of underground, some type of underground cable system or chase or something like that. People have it in their attic. I know I have a chase in my attic where cables all run down the side and they come out and they branch out. Okay. Well, they put that there so you don't step on them when you're in the attic. Okay. Well, they should do that in a stadium there's $5 billion worth to build. You would think they would come up with some type of innovative underground, underground chase where the cables lie. And then if they have to come up to attach to a unit or something, then they come up and attach. And then you've got this circular thing around it to keep them from people running into them. And then, when they're not needed, they go back down, you put a cap on it, and you're done. Why do they still have cables running all over the ground? Stupid. They can have those cables permanently in the chase. Underground at SoFi Stadium, way back from the field on the sidelines, behind benches maybe. And then, when needed, all the NFL has to do is take their cord, plug it in to the adapter that's already there at ground level, and make it much safer. No, back to old school. Let's just run cables everywhere. And we'll just throw some mats on it because nobody's going to step on the mats. They're way back there. Well, obviously somebody did. His name is Aaron Patrick of the Denver Broncos. And that's what he's suing over. The fact that the NFL and the grounds crew or whatever at SoFi Stadium and the Chargers being responsible didn't taking matters in their own hands. What if it would have been a Charger player? What if he would have stepped on and torn his ACL? What if it was Justin Herbert? There you go. Oh, it's just one of them. No, they wouldn't have said, oh, well, that's where we have to have them because that's what the NFL wants, blah, blah, blah. No, they wouldn't be saying that. They'd be ticked off, absolutely ticked off if that happened to one of their key players. I'm not saying Aaron Patrick is a dominant key player. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that if it happens to Aaron Patrick, it can happen to anybody. And no, it's not part of the game. Don't even go there. Don't even put that in the comments. It's not part of the game. Part of the game is between the sideline to sideline, 55 yards wide, 100 yards long. That's within that's part of the game. It's not part of the game to have a guy go out of bounds about 8 to 10 steps out of bounds, hit these cables underneath the mat, and twist in such a way that his ACL's torn. That's not good. That's not the way it should be. That's ridiculous. And I do agree with Aaron Patrick. You should sue the NFL and the Chargers. I hope you win. Absolutely, I hope you win. Because this needs to get changed. If concussions and CTE is a very serious thing to the NFL, and that's why they're changing the helmet design and making it better, and then having all these penalties called with these late hits or whatever, that's why. Because It is not part of the game. Having somebody with a concussion and hurting and out and can't even stand up and perform like a normal human being, the NFL looks into that. Well, they should look into this because this is not even part of the game. It's an obstruction that is not deadly, but it's dangerous to athletes. Absolutely ain't dangerous to athletes. All right, I move on. Patrick claims all parties should have known the match presented a dangerous hazard to players. Patrick is suing for unspecified damages, including lost bonuses and future earnings potential. Absolutely. He's out for the season. What if he doesn't come back 100%? Then he loses out on what he possibly could have had. Patrick's attorney, William Berman, said, and no relationship to Chris Berman, but William Berman said, and I quote, SoFi Stadium was built at $5 billion and should have the state-of-the-art equipment to protect player safety and not the use of $100 mats that you would use in a restaurant kitchen, end quote. I agree. Totally agree. I just mentioned that. I mentioned that. A $5 billion stadium should have the state-of-the-art facilities. If they got the state-of-the-art facilities for the fans and stuff, why don't they have it for the players? I know the locker rooms have the state-of-the-art and accommodation stuff. What about on the field where they can get hurt? Well, it's on the sidelines. It's like 10, 15 feet back. Who cares? It should not be above ground. It should be below ground in a chase. That is waterproof, protected, all of that, and have the connections be able to come up above and attach to the equipment that the NFL is using. What is wrong with that? Why is that so difficult? Why do we have to stay with old school and have the cables running all down the sidelines? That looks trashy. It looks unprofessional to me. Why not have wireless? I mean, with the technology that's out there, why not have wireless? Why not have cable? I mean, we all watch everything on our phones and our laptops and our computers and our TVs, their smart TVs, Wi-Fi. You mean to tell me the NFL still has to run cables across ground, above ground, and throw these mats across there? And no, maybe nobody will trip. Maybe nobody will get hurt. That's foolish. I mean, I understand if there's a cable about this big around, okay? Like the size of my thumb, all right? That big around, but not something like this, okay? That is stupid. That is absolutely ridiculous to have those things above ground with mats over top of them in hopes that nobody falls over them. Well, their own players could fall over them, just getting off the bench or whatever. Just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I hope Aaron Patrick wins. I absolutely do hope he wins. 100% hope he wins. Two reasons. One, the cables should not be there, and there should not have mats thrown over top of them as if to protect. And the other thing is Chargers. They deserve to be sued. Can't stand them. Never have liked them. Never will. All right. Let's go to the last segment, and that is the Raiders at the Broncos. Raiders are 2-7. Broncos are 3-6. The Raiders lost last Sunday to the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. Well, Indianapolis has a good record, or they have one more win than the Raiders. They were 3 wins. Raiders were 2 wins. But why is it important to bring that up? Twofold. One, the Raiders are in our division, so I'm going to talk about it. Second, the Raiders lost to the Colts with Jeff Saturday as their new interim head coach after they fired Reich. Well, wait a minute. Jeff Saturday? Hasn't he been out of the league for 11 seasons? Yes, he has. Has he ever been a head coach? Nope. Not even high school. Well, maybe kind of coached a little bit in high school, but nothing in college. Obviously, nothing in the pros. He was a center for the Indianapolis Colts when Peyton Manning played for Indy. That is, he was selected by Jim Irsay to be the interim head coach. And what does Jeff Saturday do? He has no idea how to call plays. So what does he do? He hands over the play calling to the offensive coordinator. Oh, by the way, when Reich benched Matt Ryan, Jeff Saturday comes in and says, nope, I'm not benching you, bud. You're our quarterback. You're playing this game. You're in there. You're going to get it done. And they got it done. Jeff Saturday wins his first ever head coaching game for the Indianapolis Colts against the Josh McDaniels coached Raiders. Man, I love it. Man, I love it. So maybe Nathaniel Hackett should take a page out of Jeff Saturday's method of operation. And by that, I mean, Jeff Saturday doesn't know how to call plays, and neither do you, Hackett. Saturday has the brain, what's the word I'm looking for? The brain, I don't know, the mindset to turn the play calling over to his offensive coordinator. What's Nathaniel Hackett do? Nope. Status quo. We're just keeping status quo. It's all good. No, it's not. It's not good. So Hackett, maybe you should pick up the phone, call Jeff Saturday and say, hey, whoa, bud. How did you make that happen? Because we play the Raiders this week, and I don't want to lose the McDaniels, that's for sure. So how do we fix this? And Jeff Saturday's going to say, turn over the play calling to Altman or to Kubiak. Turn over to him. Because obviously you can't handle it. So I'm just saying, why not learn from somebody who did it? Don't keep making the same mistakes, Hacken, because this is where we are. And you're not long to be on this team if you keep doing this. And I dare say, this coming Sunday, Broncos Raiders at Denver, I'll be shocked, absolutely shocked, if fans don't start leaving in the third quarter, depending on the score. If Denver's ahead, okay, maybe they stick around. But it's not because the fan base of Broncos country doesn't love these Broncos. It's the fact we don't love Hackett. We don't love Hackett. We don't love his play calling. We don't love his tree hugging. Everything's okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to get it fixed. We got it fixed. No, you don't. No, you don't. So don't sit there and tell me that, everything's, coming up roses when you got fans leaving before overtime, when the game is tied. Why? Because they don't believe and think and feel that the Broncos can get it done because of you, Hackett. That's why. And I know this week's show may sound like I'm a Debbie Downer. I don't care. Because what do you want me to say? You want me to be like Hackett? Oh, everything's great. Hey, no problem. Yeah, we got this. Yeah, we're 3-6, but we're going to go on a 12 or 10 win run. No, we're not. We are not going on a 10-win run. Don't even kid yourself. We got the Chiefs twice. We have the Baltimore Ravens. We have the Raiders this Sunday. We have the Chargers again. Are you kidding me? Don't even go there, guys. Don't even go there. So if I sound like a Debbie Downer, okay, so what? Again, try and find a silver lining in this entire season. Seriously. Injuries, penalties, horrible play calling, 14.5 points average per game scoring. You want me to be positive about something? Find it. Comment. Tell me where the positive is. Where is it? It's not there. That's why I'm bringing the news that I'm bringing and the topics I'm bringing, because there's nothing. That's the only thing I can say. It's the only thing that is out there for me to say. Okay, I continue. With both teams coming off a loss last week, Vegas to the Colts, like I mentioned, and Denver to the Titans, like I said previous, this is a must win for both. However, I really don't care about the Raiders. Denver lost to Vegas earlier this season. So this Sunday is payback time. Absolutely payback time. Will it happen? I don't know. I don't know what Bronco team is going to show up. Is it going to be the Bronco team that we scored 23 on? Or not scored on? Well, other teams have scored 23 on. Anyways, is it the Bronco team that scored 23 points but lost? Or is it going to be the team that's averaging 14.5 points a game and we have to hold the Raiders to 13 points? Is that the team we're going to see? I don't know. I have no idea. None whatsoever. Because I can't figure this team out. I absolutely cannot figure this team out. I can't. I mean, how do you figure out a team that scores 10 points early against Tennessee? It looks like a rolling machine. Virgil catches a pass down the left sideline in that game and races all the way to the end zone, outrunning the defenders, scores the touchdown. The Broncos, that was actually the first score of the game, 7-0. It was great. Or is it going to be the second half where we can't do anything? I mean, literally couldn't do anything until the last possession. And that's because Tennessee went to prevent. And then Wilson overthrows Cortland Sutton at the 5-yard line, and the ball was intercepted in the end zone, and the game was over. What team are we going to see? I have no clue. And I've tried to pick the Broncos in every single game to win. I've tried to. I even said against Tennessee, it's going to be a 17-16 game. Well, I got the 17 right, but it wasn't the Broncos that had 17. I don't know what the score is going to be. I don't even know if we're going to have any healthy bodies on the field that are worth a dang, because every substitute we put in, every backup we put in has sucked. Absolutely stunk up the place. Jerry Jeudy's out. Like I mentioned, the first play of the Tennessee game, he twisted his ankle. He's out. We got Glasgow. He's out. We cut who did we cut today? I forgot. We cut a wide receiver today. He was also on special teams and kind of messed things up. Oh, Cleveland. We cut Cleveland today. And that's a good move because the guy couldn't even figure out how to catch a ball or do anything right, especially on punt returns and whatnot. So that's a good move. But we keep getting these injuries and guys not performing. And then we had Melvin Gordon almost fumble, but he grabbed it just in time before he hit the ground. It came loose, but it was after he hit the ground. We have all of these penalties and just miscues and balls that should be intercepted by our defense is not happening. This is not a team that is working like spokes. They're not. They're working like this, like they're all jacked up. What team are we going to see Sunday? I don't know. I don't know. But I cannot go against my team. I will pick Denver to win this game. Take a page out of what the Colts did. Do what they did. Make a phone call, Hackett. Make a phone call to Saturday and say, hey, man, what in heaven's name did you do? because I want to do the exact same thing. I don't think he'll pick up the phone. Seriously doubt it. Seems to me he's got that ego thing that he wants to be all that. And he's not. But I say somehow, some way, Denver wins this game. 17-14, Denver at Mile High Stadium, Empower Field at Mile High this coming Sunday. Broncos somehow, some way get it done. And I think it's going to have to happen from the defense on a pick six or a fumble return or a sack that, results in, a good field position, something. Something has to change. I think it's going to happen this weekend. On Sunday, Denver wins a game. Excuse me, guys. 17-14. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like button. Really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. Keep watching and supporting. I really appreciate it. Guys, enjoy this weekend. Hopefully, let's get a Broncos win. All you guys out there, give all the mojo love to the Broncos, and let's get this win against the Raiders. All right? Especially the Raiders and Josh McDaniels. Until then, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and enjoy the game Sunday. Let's hope for a Broncos win, and I will talk to you next Tuesday after the Broncos-Raiders game. Till then, guys, take care. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.